hey, what do you do with your timeshare points when it's coming towards the end of the year and you're gonna lose them? There's not a ton of options you can do, and obviously it depends on who you own with. Let me just give you some ideas of things I've seen in the past and with certain companies that work good. So you're coming to the end of the year, you're like, oh shit, I forgot to use the timeshare points. Oh crap. Well, there's only so much you can do with it because there's only so much they can do with it, obviously. With Marriott, let's see, I believe Wyndham, Worldmark, I think a lot of the RCI ones, if you're coming towards the end of the year and you haven't gotten rid of them, now they have minimums, like intervals, like 1,000 points minimum with Marriott. Obviously it depends on what developer you own with. Sorry, I'm at my kids' gymnastics, just walking around, getting a little cardio in while they're at gymnastics. But you can usually deposit them with RCI or interval up until like, I think a day or two before the end of the year, and then they'll give you credit. Sometimes they like limit how far out you can book those points. Sometimes they might only give you a year extension on them. Sometimes they give you like the full 2 years to use them after that. So it really just depends on who you own with and that kind of thing. But what I would do is, instead of losing them, call up your developer or call up RCI or Interval, whatever their company you work with, and see if there's a way you could deposit those points, and then you have another year or two to use them. And a lot of times people don't like Interval or RCI, which I get because I didn't like them at first either. So watch my other videos on how to trade your timeshare and actually get what you want, because you can use them, you just have to do it a certain way. Might not work ideally for everybody, but you can use them if you do it the right way and do a request first or an ongoing search with RCI. So there's some, light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of the developers, especially the big companies, you can turn them in for like airfare credits. Obviously it's like a horrible value, but some of them you can use it for gift cards. I think Wyndham you can do gift cards as well. I know Marriott you can do gift cards or airline vouchers. They'll give you like, well, it used to be like $200 for every 500 points, something like that. So at least you could do something with them. You could do that. You could try to, I mean, you're coming towards the end of the year. I'm filming this, it's like December 10th. So you wouldn't have a ton of options. You could maybe post them on Craigslist for rent. And that's a little difficult though, because most timeshare resorts are booked out the last 2 weeks of the year. But you could do that. You could give them to friends and family. You could, let's see, what else can you do? Rent it out. You could try to donate it to the church, see if they have enough time. You could, let's see, did I have anything else I thought you could do with it? I think that's about it. Really, you don't really have many options. Like I said, if it's like December when I'm filming this now, and the end of the year is in 3 weeks and all the resorts are booked up the last 2 weeks. So you don't have a ton of options. So I guess my best advice would be to, instead of just letting it go, is to call, see if you can deposit them with Interval or RCI. So they'll give you a little bit longer to use them. Next time in the future, rent out your current year's points to us and then borrow your next year's points into this year, so you're always ahead of the game. And then if you don't use them, then you still have them in that following year. So that's always an option you could do. I recommend to people, especially if you know you're not able to use it every year. So that's one option. We rent out people's points. If you don't know how to rent out your points, we can do it for you. We don't pay a ton over your maintenance fees, if some cases around your maintenance fees, but at least we can get rid of the points for you, most likely, as long as they don't expire in like right now 2 weeks before the end of the year. So you got to give us a little time to work them, but we will send you out a contract. We can handle everything for you. So in the future, you don't run into this situation. Just let us rent out some of your current year's points, and then let me see, maybe I'll walk this way. We rent out your current year's points, and then when you want to take your trips, just borrow points from the next year. Now, not all companies allow you to borrow points, or some of them do, but you have to pay your maintenance fee a year ahead of time. But like Marriott, you can borrow from the next year. I believe Westin, you can borrow from the next year without paying your maintenance. Worldmark, yeah, I think you can borrow Worldmark from the next year without paying the maintenance. But those are your options. So in the future, If you don't want to get stuck in this situation again, let us rent out your points, or you rent out some of your points and then borrow your next year's points. Then you can deposit it with Interval RCI, maybe give it to friends and family, maybe trade somebody for work around your house. Like I just moved to the Nashville area, super pretty. I love all the rain, it's awesome. A lot different than Vegas, but like say you're in the Nashville area, Wyndham has a resort here, maybe like I need some work done around my house. Maybe when that guy comes over, I go, hey, look, I'll give you 2 nights at the resort over here in the, you know, by the lake or whatever. It's not impossible to do stuff like that. So, just try to think out the box, outside the box. Other than that, there's not a ton other things you can do. So make sure in the future you plan ahead. If you're stuck, deposit it, or try to call your company, see if there's anything you can convert it into in cash. Even though it's a crappy value, it's better than losing it. All right, I'll have the dog with me next time because we're at gymnastics. All right, peace out. Let us know if you need any help. Support at timesharesimplified.com, or you can visit us online at timesharesimplified.com. All right, take care.